Hello, Irene.
Hello.
Hey, friends, you're watching BrainStormAcres. I'm Henry.
And I'm Irene.
Today, we're once again time-sharing our kitchen.
That's right. I started the pizza dough, got the sponge made. Now the regular part of the dough is sitting in there, bubbling away, and he gets to use the kitchen for a little while.
It's not going to take very long. This is a pretty quick project. Today, I'm going to be showing you how I make soft cheese. Not just any soft cheese. It uses a little bit of milk, a little bit of cream, some vinegar to develop the curd. It tastes great when we're done. You can spice it up however you want. Today, I'm not sure. I might do ginger and honey, or I might do an herb, more like one of the commercial cheeses that you get.
Right. We were looking at a magazine together the other day, and we were talking about one of the commercially produced cheeses that they sell a little piece about that big that's like
$7.
yeah, and you're like, okay. And I remember years ago when we had learned to do this 20 years ago. Somebody was like, well, I'd really like to have this big party, and I'd really like to have a whole bunch of cheese, different flavors and everything else, but I can't afford it. And we're like, can you buy 2 gallons of milk? And they're like, well, yeah. I'm like, well, 2 gallons of milk will make you one heck of a lot of cheese.
Yeah, so I showed her how to make the cheese. Hey, by the way, Adler, I hope you enjoyed this show too.
I will leave Henry to his cheesing. I don't usually make cheese. I do sometimes, and I've made it with yogurt before. And then we have made it together with other techniques because there's about a dozen ways to make cheese.
Yeah, so this is a simple, easy, soft cheese to make. I also make hard cheese. In fact, it's about time to make some more cheese.
Yeah, I'd like to have some, $30 a pound cheese that I didn't have to pay $30 a pound for. So it's time to make some.
Okay, well, you can go on about your dough.
Bye.
Now, the ingredients for this cheese are very, very simple. It's some milk and cream. I'm making a half gallon of milk and then using 1 cup of cream, heavy cream. And in goes the cream. I'm using a half gallon of milk, so this pot is a 3-quart pot. There's going to be barely enough room to really deal with cheese curds as they're being formed. The other thing I'm using is a dairy thermometer. This is a floating thermometer, which means I can just put it in the milk and it can continue to read the temperature. And when I want to know what the temperature is, I just pull it out and take a look. You don't have to use a dairy thermometer. If you have an instant read thermometer, it'll work just fine. The whole point here is to get the milk and cream mixture up to 190 degrees Fahrenheit. We don't want to boil it. We just want to get it hot. Right now, the milk is pretty cold. It's in the mid-30s. It's going to take a while. I've just turned down to the simmer point on my range. This is a commercial powered burner. I don't want to have a lot of heat going into the milk all at one time. I'm just going to bring it up to temperature slowly. When you do this, use a wooden spoon to stir the mixture. You don't want it to scorch on the bottom of the pot because it does take a little time for this cheese to form. Now a little bit about this cheese. We made this cheese for a large feast that we made quite some time ago. This cheese is based on an old recipe. By old, I mean hundreds of years old. The original recipe called for making this cheese with ale, beer. well, beer. That's fine. That's one way of causing the milk to curdle. And the whole point here is to get the milk up to temperature, curdle it to create curds. Then we'll slice it up in the pot and let the whey separate. Well, I'll bring you back when this milk is warm enough. I'm going to add the apple cider vinegar into the milk. We're looking for some curds to form. It's starting to thicken up. Now that the curds are forming, I've set a timer for 5 minutes. We'll let this sit for 5 minutes, and then we'll pull the curds out and put them into the cheesecloth through a colander. I'm going to use a piece of ordinary out of a retail store cheesecloth. This is not the cheesecloth that I would use if I were making hard cheese. That's more like a muslin. And if I were doing that, Irene would boil up some muslin and I'd be using that. But let's go ahead and use this ordinary cheesecloth that is readily available. Check the curd. It isn't real solid. It isn't real solid, but it's still going to make some very good cheese. Now I'll continue pulling these curds out of the pot and putting them into the cheesecloth until I have them all out. I'm saving the whey. I'm just not sure whether or not I'm going to use the whey for something out in the garden, whether I'm going to make another kind of cheese with it. I'll let you know later. Right now our cheese is the consistency of a very wet cottage cheese. It'll take a few hours of letting this hang, or I could squeeze more of the liquid out. This is a quick and easy way of making some really great cheese. I would judge that we have about 12 ounces of curds here, which means that we have about 3 of those cheese balls that you could buy at the grocery store. That's about $24 worth of cheese. I paid a little over $2 a gallon for the milk. It was $8 for a quart of the heavy cream. So I used $1 worth, let's call it $1.25 worth of milk, and something around $2 worth of cream. So about for $3.25, I have about $24 worth of cheese. Well, thanks for watching. Hopefully I'll get a chance to show you what this looks like tonight and do a taste test with Irene. I'm going to have to get out of her kitchen because she's ready to start doing some more stuff for pizza for tonight. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell for notification because I'm still making cheese. She's busy making pizza. She gets a beer. I'm not sure what I'm going to have. We'll talk with you later. Bye.